Hello guys, welcome to my video with Marina, and now we are going to talk about semiotics. Guys, before we start explaining about semiotics, you should know semiotics is part of linguistics. Linguistics, according Oxford Lexico, is scientific study of language and its structure, including the study of grammar, syntax, and phonetics. If you know, in a linguistic we can define with two categories. It is microlinguistic. There are phonology, phonetic, morphology, syntax, semantic, and pragmatics. And there are macrolinguistic. In macrolinguistic, there are sociolinguistic, anthropology, psycholinguistic, discover, cognitive, and of course semiotic, and etc. And now we are focused to tell about semiotic. Guys, semiotic. What is about semiotic? Derives from a Greek word semiotikos, which means sign. So semiotics is science of communicate and science systems in a sort of the ways people understand with the phenomena and organize them mentally. So sign. What is sign? A sign is anything that communicates a meaning. If you know, there are two methods for describe a sign, with a connotation and denotation. Connotation. Connotation is emotional, that feeling of a word, but that's different with denotation. Denotation is dictionary and literal meaning of a word. For example, you can see a picture. Right, there are woman and man. Woman say rose. That's connotation about feeling, about love. But men think denotation, that's a real rose, that's flower, that literal of word. Okay guys, now we are going to talk about sign-of-it and sign-verb. Sign-of-it is the concept that a sign never reverts to the meaning it conveys. But sign-verb is any motion, gesture, image, sounds, patterns, or even that conveys meaning that communicate. You can see the picture. Yes, that's a future elaborate on what is sign-of-it and sign-verb. Here's the McDonald's iconic yellow M. Is the sign-verb we can relate to McDonald's immediately when we see it, and the slogan I love it, which is the tagline, is the sign-verb where the people link easily to the famous. Okay, sign-verb. In the sign-verb we can explain it or describe using the syntax and paradigm framework. Syntagm is a single element that, when altered, can change the overall meaning, and paradigm is element that can alter and still remains the same meanings. For example, and the next, sign-verb. There are three parts of sign-verb. There is iconic, index, and symbol. Icon is a sign that physically replaces what is stand for a literal sign. An index is a sign which is in place some other object or event, a implied sign. But symbol is a sign with a conventional or orbital relation in a sign or a learned sign. You can see the example, right? Guys, for the last, there is a picture that's example semiotic in our life, right? And the sign-verb is presented by a public bus as well as a woman holding on to hand rails that are shaped like hand. There are also words whose hands are you holding, which is adds to the sign-verb. What is sign-verb to you? Perhaps the feeling that it can be dirty, unhygienic, and full of germs. Okay guys, I think that's all for my explain about semiotic. Thank you for your attention and see you goodbye.